We have a special treat for you today. In this video, I'm not only going to share with you my door knocking script, exactly what I say when door knocking final expense leads, word for word, but I'm also going to share my cold door knocking script. What to say when you're door knocking without final expense leads. I'm also going to share with you how to minimize objections at the door, what to say when they don't let you in, my experience with door knocking leads in the big city and urban areas versus those smaller towns and more rural areas. And I'm going to share exactly what to say and do when the prospects tell you, some nonsense. They give you some type of objection, tell you to call back, or when they ask for you to come back at another time, something like that. First, I'm going to ask that you give this video a thumbs up and please subscribe. And guys, if you'll kindly leave a comment below, I'll be super grateful because I love to hear from all of you. Before we get into the door knocking script, it's important to talk about eliminating objections. The truth is, you and I might actually walk up to the exact same door using the exact same script and the exact same lead and get a completely different reaction from the prospect. And if you'll stick around until the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to get a copy of both my Objection Super File, which has scripts on overcoming objections while calling to set appointments, when you're closing the sale, and of course, door knocking your leads, and my cold door knocking script so that you'll have a copy of exactly what to say when door knocking without leads. The knee-jerk reaction for Mr. and Mrs. Client is to get rid of the salesperson who's knocking on their door. Guys, there's nothing we can do about this. It's just human nature. And if you didn't give this video a thumbs up yet, you need to do that now, or I'm going to send my wife over there to sell you a final expense policy. When we lived in Miami, Mariana and I figured out early in our careers that, well, the big cities were definitely harder to door knock versus the smaller cities and more rural counties and towns. People that live in those big cities, well, they're just harder to deal with and are, well, pretty darn mean. Not only that, but you have those condominiums, gated communities, and even in the better neighborhoods to sell in, people have fences around their homes. We had a ridiculously hard time even getting to these people, let alone, talking our way into the house when we did get in front of them at the door. There's just so many people that sell different items door to door in the big cities that I think these folks, our seniors, the ones that fill out the direct mail lead cards, well, they're basically trained professionals at getting rid of door-to-door salespeople. Back in the day, and yes, I'm gonna make a long story short here, my wife and I decided to try selling in this one area that we drove by when we would go to visit family in Central Florida. We dropped a couple of thousand pieces of mail and got back around 30 or 35 lead cards. When the leads started to come in, my wife Mariana and I went to that area to try our luck, of course, before throwing in the towel. Now, just to be clear, at this point, our state of mind wasn't very good because we had basically failed at final expense sales, and this was it. This was our last shot. The first lead that we door knocked, the people invited us in. I'll never forget. The husband had a universal life policy that was already losing value and the price was about to jump right through the roof. So it was an easy replacement sale, let's put it that way. But lead after lead, house after house, we noticed that the people were a lot nicer in this smaller town than what we were used to dealing with in, the Miami-Dade County and Fort Lauderdale, Broward County areas. So if you're new to the business, here's your pro tip. Don't be afraid to drive a couple of hours away from your home, even 3 or 4 hours. That way you can work the more rural areas and smaller towns, and you're gonna often find that the people who live in those areas are not only easier to sell to, but in my experience, are better to sell to because more of those sales will actually stay on the books as your clients for a lot longer compared to the big city sales that you make, working in those more urban areas. That's why most of the top producers tend to travel and even will have their regular hot little honey hole spot where they'll, go stay a couple nights in a hotel and work the crap out of that area for a few days and then end up going back to it a few months later. Now, before I get into the script, let's talk about the approach. First, I park the car in front of the house where I can easily be seen from the front windows. Yeah, I do the little wave when I get out and, as if, like, hi, I see you and I know you see me. I dress business casual. Long sleeves are suggested in case there's bugs or something in the house. Wear an ID badge with your company logo and your photo in the front and a copy of your insurance license on the back of your company ID. Try to be clean cut, well groomed. Make sure that you look like, well, the only way for me to say this is someone that you would approve of if you walked into your grandma's house and saw that she was, sitting down speaking with this person about buying something. I mean, it's kind of common sense, right? But let me give you another pro tip. If this actually happens, you're sitting down and making your presentation and one of the family members walk in, just ask, hey, Mrs. Jones, you think we could have them join us? Would you like that? Be transparent. The family, in most cases, will appreciate the heck out of this, and they're often going to help you to make the sale too. Here's exactly what I say when door knocking my leads. Hi, Mr. Senior, I'm Douglas Massi. Now, you had recently filled your information on this little card, and I show them the card, and you mailed it into my office about the special benefits for Florida seniors that are on Social Security. Now, let me ask you real quick, are you receiving government benefits like Social Security or disability or VA benefits? They're probably going to say, yes, I am. And then I'll say, perfect. I should be able to do something really good for you and your family. Now, where can we sit down real quick? Now, when I say this, where can we sit down real quick? I'll kind of motion towards them as if, they already invited me in. Look, they're either going to move over and welcome you in, or they're going to give you an objection. If they start with the objections, most likely, whatever the excuse, it's just an excuse and not the true objection. The true objection is usually that they just don't want to be sold anything, and it's their natural knee-jerk reaction is to get rid of you. So I don't care what they're saying. You caught me at a bad time, we're getting ready for dinner, I have to go to the doctor, my wife isn't feeling good, she's laying down, can you call me back later, can you come back tomorrow? Remember, guys, this is the natural knee-jerk reaction. Here's what I say. Mr. Senior, look, I know you're hesitant, and just to be clear, the last thing that I would want is for some pushy type of salesperson to go over to my mom's house and try to sell her something that maybe she's not interested in. My job is to simply see if you qualify for the form that you did fill out, and you're either going to be glad that I did come by or not, and I'll be on my way. I'll make it really quick. And that's when I start motioning towards them again, like, here I come, you're inviting me in, we're going to sit down. If they keep going on with the excuses and the nonsense, I'm going to let them know that, 1, I drove a long way to see them, 2, my boss is just going to keep sending people, and 3, that it normally takes me about 20 minutes, but, I'm going to give them the short version. That way I can go let my boss know I did my job and he won't send anybody back here. If you're not working leads and you're just cold door knocking, I suggest buying a list. There are list companies like List Shack, for instance, that will let you pick the exact zip code and the age of the prospects. They'll give you the list in an Excel file, which is really nice because you can change things around. That way you can actually organize it by address. Now, you can walk up and down the street with the name of each prospect. You'll have their age in the exact order of the mailing addresses, one house to the next, all next to each other. Go to any direct mail lead vendor's website, print out a copy of their sample lead card, laminate it, and when you door knock from the list, just say something like, hi, Mr. Senior, I'm Douglas Massi, how are you doing? Well, my office sent you one of these little cards, and show it to them, about the special final expense benefits for seniors on Social Security and fixed income, and we noticed that you guys didn't send it back. Where can we sit down real quick? If they give you an objection, just say and do exactly what we just talked about. the same thing. Overcome the objection the exact same way. Do not take no for an answer. Don't listen to the lies. Don't believe the nonsense. Remember, your job is to help as many people as possible. For a copy of both the Objection Superfile and the cold door knocking script, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. For more information on selling final expense and or Medicare products as a completely independent agent, and what that means, guys, is full vesting on the first day, full commissions as high as they get, and full lifetime renewals on those Medicare Advantage sales, just shoot me an email at that same address. Remember, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now, get out there and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.